All right, let's talk now about how to find your x and y intercepts from standard form. So standard form, the way it is currently written, the ax plus by equals c, is relatively easy to find your x and y intercepts. An x-intercept is located on the x-axis, right? So when I look at this graph as an example, my graph here has, this is your x-intercept. Whatever it is for all x-intercepts, the y value of all x-intercepts is going to equal 0 because you're on your x-axis. So to find your x-intercept, you let y be 0. You are going to find your coordinate point, which is going to be some number, comma 0. We're going to find that number. So the y-intercept is then going to be on your y-axis. And so your x value is going to be 0. So to find your y-intercept, you let x be 0. So your coordinate point is going to be 0, comma, some number. All right, I'm using n and m because those numbers should not be the same. All right, so when we look at our first example here, we're going to find our x and our y-intercept. So let's find x first. To find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0. So in this equation, I'm going to let y equal 0. So I'm going to have 2x plus 6 times 0 equals 12. To find the x-intercept, we need to find x. We're looking for x. So I need x, but I don't need y. Y must be 0, because if I'm looking for an x-intercept, my y value has to be 0. That is the only way you can be on the x-axis. So if I let y be 0, then I have 6 times 0. And 6 times 0 is 0, right? So this whole term here goes away, leaves you with 2x equals 12. And then I'm going to solve this simple equation. If 2x equals 12, I'm going to divide by 2 to get x equals 6. So my coordinate point is going to be the number I just found, comma 0, because I plug 0 in for y. That is my first answer. My x-intercept is 6, 0. Now let's find the y-intercept. Same process, but this time I'm going to let x be 0, because now I'm looking for y. So now I have 2 times 0 plus 6y equals 12. And similar to before, 2 times 0 is 0. So this whole term is gone. Leaves me with a positive 6y equals 12. And then I'm going to solve that equation. I would do that by dividing by 6. So y equals 12 divided by 6 is 2. So my y-intercept would be 0, because that was my x value, 2. There are my x and y-intercepts of that graph, of that function. All right, example 2. Now there's another way to do this. It's the same process, just another way of seeing this. When you're looking for your x-intercept, you need the x term, but the y term is going to go away. That's what happened here. I have the x term, but the y term went away. So to find the x-intercept, you need that negative 3x, and you're just going to set it equal to that constant, and you're going to then divide by your coefficient of negative 3. So x equals 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. That gives you negative 4, 0. Your x-intercept is negative 4, 0, because your y is 0. And you found x is negative 4. So then your y-intercept, for the y-intercept, I need the y term, and the x term is going to go away. So I'm going to ignore my x term. I need to pay attention to the symbol in front of this number, though. I need to know if it's positive or negative. So that's why I got rid of the x term, but not the symbol. So this is a positive 6y equals 12. And then I need to divide by my coefficient of 6 to get y equals 12 divided by 6 is, well, that's 2. So my coordinate point for my y-intercept is 0, 2. And I know that this graph is in the way here when you go to do your last problem. So I understand that issue. So wherever you have room, whether you do it on the side, you do it at the top, bottom, somewhere over here, wherever you have room to do it. All right. So I'm going to do my x-intercept up here for this problem up here. So if I need my x-intercept, I need the x term, which is 12x. I'm going to ignore the y term and just set it equal to 36. So then I'm just going to divide by that coefficient of 12. 36 divided by 12, well, that's 3. So my x-intercept is 3, 0. And then I'm going to do my y-intercept down here. I'm going to ignore my x term. I cannot ignore that number, that symbol in front of that number. So that is negative 2y equals 36. I need that symbol. It is minus, so I need a negative. And then I'm going to divide by that negative 2, my coefficient, to get y equals 36 divided by negative 2 is negative 18. So my coordinate point would be 0, negative 18 for my y-intercept. Your x-intercept should always be your number, comma, 0, and your y-intercept should always be 0, comma, your number.